Good morning, everyone. I'm Ricky Shavers, and I'm here with
Persephone Hayes.
Welcome to ABL16 News Network. Today we'll be discussing the topic in a book everyone can relate to: Good Boss, Bad Boss.
Yes, Ricky, we'll be centering the conversation around these key questions. If you want to be a good boss, what do you need to accomplish day after day? If you have a bad boss, what can you do about it? What are the characteristics of a good boss and bad boss?
Those are layered questions that I'm sure everyone has different answers to. To get some of these answers, we've sent correspondents out to ask people their opinions. Let's check in with one of them now. Yolanda?
16 News Network. Today I'm live here at the Birmingham VA Medical Center, and I have sitting with me today our guest, Stacy Stevens. Stacy, how are you today?
I'm doing well today, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to speak with us. Today we're going to be talking about good bosses and bad bosses. Okay. This is a best-selling novel. We're just going to pose some questions to you today, and you pick and choose from what you want. But can you tell me exactly what are some character traits of a good boss, and maybe perhaps character flaws of a bad boss? And what recommendations do you make as it relates to if we do have a bad boss, how to deal with that bad boss? And being a good boss, such as yourself, can you tell me a little bit about what you have to accomplish day to day to make that happen?
I think one of the things that's important to know as far as being a good boss is that you don't do it by yourself. And when you get that mantra in mind, you realize that you lead from example and not just from direction. That allows your team to realize that you're in it with them. And so characteristics of a good boss would be ones that actively listen beyond what your employee says. And so listening for me, which is why I like face-to-face, because it allows me to hear what they're saying, hear what they're not saying, and look at their body language to know if I need to probe a little more, if what you're giving me is a surface answer, or if there's something deeper there. So actively listening to what's being said and what's not being said, taking the time to identify the strengths of your employees. Sometimes we make the mistake of, well, let me improve the person's weaknesses. And that's not a bad tool, but if you put someone in their strengths, they will continue to do well. And as they're doing well, you can gently work on the things that they can improve on. I won't say necessarily weaknesses, but areas that they're not as strong in. But if you put someone in an area that they're not strong in, they'll constantly feel like failures because their point of reference is, I don't do well with this anyway. So being attentive to where the strengths of your team lies and putting them there, identifying where, if you've put them somewhere and it's not feasible for them, shifting gears and being okay with saying, hey, I thought this would work, but let's try this area. I think you'll be more efficient in it. So actively listening, knowing your staff, and admitting when you don't have the answer, because your staff will read right through it. So I'm very comfortable with saying, I don't know. Let me see if I can find that out. I think that's a better answer. And the key to that is to actually do the follow-up. So I think those are some characteristics of a good boss, being able to, also knowing how to speak to your staff. As far as a bad boss, I would say not holding people accountable. You can be the best person, a good person individually, and not hold any of your staff accountable. You are really a bad boss, because the lack of accountability breeds ineffectiveness in your service or your area or whatever have you. And so, you can't be everybody's friend. And you have to be able to take responsibility for the bigger decisions. I know when there are decisions that I make that some of the team are not going to agree with, I still have to make those decisions, because from the vantage point that I sit, I have more responsibility over the bigger picture than the staff person who is concerned about their particular nucleus. I have to look at everyone's nucleus. And so not holding people accountable makes you a bad boss. Not knowing how to talk to people makes you a bad boss. Not follow with no follow through, like I said before, that also goes in those lacking characteristics of a bad boss. So, can you turn those things around? You can. It takes effort and consistency to do so. You can lose your status as a good boss really quickly if you make some poor decisions. So just your decision making and those things. So those are my bullets on good boss and bad boss. What was your last question?
Just the day to day. I think you've actually covered everything.
Okay.
So this has been just really insightful. Like, wow, I aspire to be a good boss such as yourself. I mean, sounds like you hit every bullet. Very inspiring. So again, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So again, this was Dr. Stacy Stevens here at the Birmingham VA Medical Center. Back at you at the station. Today I'm sitting here with Yvette Fields, Senior Manager of the Birmingham Career Center, Department of Labor. So Ms. Fields, thank you for joining us today. We're going to be talking about good bosses and bad bosses. And we're just going to ask you a couple questions as it relates to good boss and bad boss, especially with you being in your current role. Can you tell us a little bit about what that role is? And if you don't mind answering a couple questions, that if you are a good boss, what do you need to accomplish day to day? Or what are some characteristic traits that you see in a good boss and maybe some flaws in a bad boss?
Okay, thank you for coming.
You're more than
And the matter of fact that I was saying, I said, wow, I haven't seen you in a long time. But the questions I have here about a good boss, you need to treat people about the person. And you need to realize that everyone has positive and negative. And when they are needing help, it's better to help them rather than not helping them. Because in doing the job, they'll do the job better if they're doing okay. And you mentioned something about the bad boss. It's a terminology where I want to say that I'm dealing with some, but however, I treat them the way I want to be treated. And in knowing that, I feel inside, but God is good. God is good. And if you feel like you have someone that is not treating you any good regarding on your job, just sit down and decide what you want to do. I've been here for over 40 years, and it was always different when it comes to bosses. And sometimes you may have more than one boss, because sometimes the employee thinks they're the boss. So it just depends on what type of office or situation that you're in the company or organization, because life is different. You never know when that person is going through things. And at that, I always have persons who I really talk to first before I even hire them. And we have certain questions we have. Are you able to do the job? And then if you're able to do the job, that's great. Now, recently, though, I've had people they just walk out the job. They've left. And so I always call them back and I said, why did you leave? Sometimes it's not just the job itself. It may be the money and how far their transportation can get to the job. And so if that's a person who is doing that, it's not imaginating, but it's real. Because if a person can't come to work, you cannot hold the job. So with some people, they'll leave. And they told me one time, they said, we educate people. Because when you're trying to help people, then you got to have that inside that you want to help that person find a job. Because employment is different. It's so different now. And so with after the area where I am, it's always Birmingham. And so we have different issues because different employers. And so you have to train that person to know what to do on the job. But as far as a boss, in the past, my boss, she would just sit down and tell me what I needed to do. I have duties, and you got to make sure, usually it's 10 duties on my evaluation. And it's supposed to give me an exact way of what am I doing on my job. If I get a low number, then I want to rise it up. I want to make sure that my numbers are high. And so in order to do that, I said, but maybe I just need to stop and say, hey, what I did last week, I need to stop. I need to be there on time. And I need to dress the proper attire for that particular company. I couldn't come in here on Friday with jeans on unless it was Friday. And so when we talk to people about a job, we want to tell them there's some things that they need to change. So it's just different. It's different. But we're doing, trying to help people get employed. So that's about it.
Well, thank you. I thank you for sharing all your expertise and knowledge, and congratulations on your 40 years.
Thank you.
Plus with the organization. Well, thank you again, Miss Bills, for joining us today.
Yvette.
All right. Well, you guys just heard from Yvette Bills, manager here at the Alabama Career Center, Department of Labor. Back at you, ABL16 News Network. Back at you, Amanda.
Thank you, Yolanda, and interviewee, for providing feedback on hallmarks on a good boss and bad boss. We have much more on this topic, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
I'm so burnt out. I said yes to AES.
Say yes to AES.
I said yes to AES.
Don't be fooled. Your voice matters. Try new AES 2024. Say yes to AES. Taking the all-employee survey may cause job satisfaction, process improvement, less stress, being heard, better retention, and increased employee engagement. Talk to your service champion today and say yes to AES. AES, the all-employee survey, is available online or by phone May 6th through May 28th, 2024.
Welcome back to the ABL16 News Network. We're opening up on the topic of good boss, bad boss.
That's right, Ricky. We have some very interesting questions that we're focusing on today. Any of them that stand out to you?
Yes, Persephone. The question that stands out to me is, what are the hallmarks of a good boss, bad boss question? It reminds me of an example of a good boss inspiring teamwork on a basketball team. Let's take a quick look.
What I gotta do to play?
Mr. Cruz, you do not want to know the answer to that question. Now, as I was saying, as a team, we shot 56% from the line. From now on, before you leave my gym, you must pay an exit price of 50 made free throws before you can go. That's everybody.
That's a lot of free throws.
Okay, Mr. Cruz. Before you can play on this team, you owe me 2,500 push-ups and 1,000 suicides.
Damn.
Oh, and they must be completed by Friday.
He ain't finishing that by Friday.
Today's flavor, offense.
Now we're talking.
Now I have a sister. Her name is Linda. Linda is smart. She's political. Well, actually, she's radical. Linda's got a big afro. Linda is our pick and roll offense. Before we get into that, let's warm up. Give me a layup line. Let's go. Battle.
I got him right here. I'm open. I'm out. I tried. Come on. Let's get it. They call out them picks. Yeah. All right. Move up.
Give up, Mr. Cruz. Go home. You know your task is impossible before Friday, right? Move! Work it! Run it back! Clay. Mr. Cruz, I'm impressed with what you've done, but you came up short. You owe me 80 suicides and 500 push-ups. Please leave my gym.
I'll do push-ups for him. You said we're a team. One person struggles and we all struggle. One player triumphs, we all triumph, right?
I'll do some. I'll run suicides too.
Fine. Let's keep count. Call me when they're done. Come on. Let's groove! Good D, boy. Let's go! Move!
9 seconds left. Go to war, Miss Margaret. This is a tight one.
Let's go! Linda! Watch the pick! I got ball! Stop the ball!
It's not there! To the hole!
Watch it! Leo, man! Your left!
I love that story. It's very touching.
Absolutely. And it shows the kind of teamwork that's possible when people have good leaders.
Exactly. Before we get all teary-eyed, we still have 2 correspondents to check with to get some more perspectives. Let's go to one of them now. Amanda?
Today, sir.
I'm Allison.
Okay, could you tell me who you are and where you work?
My name is Charles Winston. I'm the tax assessor for Jefferson County Investment Division.
Okay, we have Mr. Charles Winston here with us today, and I am Amanda, and I'm from the ABL Network News. And today we're here, and we're going to be talking about good boss, bad boss. And in this book, we had some questions. And I would like to ask you one of those questions. Would that be okay?
We'll be fine.
Okay.
Before you start, what's ABL?
ABL stands for Action-Based Leadership. This is a committee that I'm in here at the Birmingham, VA. Okay, I have a question for you. Are you sure you're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. If you want to be a good boss, what do you need to accomplish day after day?
First of all, to be a good boss, I'll actually use the word boss.
Okay.
I believe that teamwork makes the dream work, and that if you can partner with the folks that on staff with you, that works in the office with you, and develop relationship. So I deal from a servant leadership, make them aware that I'm not going to ask them to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself. I think every day you got to make sure that you're goal orientated and that you're doing those things that positively move you toward reaching those goals every day. My office and what we do is pretty much customer service orientated. So the goal is to have satisfied customers that will leave our office saying that they had a positive experience, that the person that served them was knowledgeable, and so I get to manage people, and they do what it is that's necessary to make this county office function.
Nice. So you did so well on that question. So I just have to ask you this. Do you know the characteristics of a bad boss?
I think a bad boss is that person who only can motivate people from an authoritative standpoint, that you do what I say do because I'm the boss. You're going to do what I ask you to do because you understand the goal. You bought into the philosophy of the office and that you want to be your best self. So you help people to be better. If you help enough people get what you want, you always have what you need.
Great, great answer. You have expounded so well on these questions. Are you sure you don't have one of these books at home on your bookshelf?
I'm sure I'm going to get one.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be a bad boss.
Great, great, great. And I would like to thank you for taking the time out with me to share your input on the questions that I've shared with you with this book, Good Boss, Bad Boss. This is Amanda Hudson, coming live in Fairfield, Alabama, Fox 6 ABL, Action-Based Leadership News Network. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
And first of all, can I get your name and what do you do? Would you please tell me?
My name is Reginald White. I'm the owner of Main Street Grill Investment.
Okay, thank you. Today, we're going to talk about this book, which is called Good Boss, Bad Boss. And in this book, it has a couple of questions. And I just want to get your input on one of the questions, okay?
Okay.
Just by looking at you, I have a question in mind. Could you give me some characteristics of a good boss?
Characteristics of a good boss is leadership, someone that provides clear communication, sets expectations for his staff, tries to make sure that he's organized, I think that's some of my characteristics that I say that comes to mind every time.
Okay. Well, do you have any characteristics of a bad boss? Or do you know any flaws of a bad boss? Could you give me some characteristics?
Some characteristics of a bad boss. I mean, one that comes to mind is do as I say and not as I do type of boss. And what I mean by that, that boss might preach to his employees to do something one way, then they come back and do whatever they're preaching, they do the complete opposite of what they do. I feel like that's a bad characteristic of a boss, of a bad boss, because you kind of give them a big signal to your staff. Another characteristic I would probably say is a lazy boss, a boss that doesn't want to work. But then there's a thin line between helping and then your employees thinking that you're supposed to do the job for them.
And what do you mean by that?
So typically, from what I've known in the past, is that sometimes when you tend to help your employees, some employees, they depend on that help, and if it's something that they could do by themselves, they'll kind of slow down or mess up just so they can get their help, so they don't have to work as hard.
Well, how would you classify yourself as being a good boss or a bad boss?
It depends, because that's a tricky question.
And tell me, why would you say that?
I don't think no boss intentionally wants to be a bad boss. It depends on, sometimes you'll be a good boss and employees can kind of take your kindness for a weakness. And so you might be helping, doing anything that you can for your staff, and if they take your kindness for a weakness and then you start acting a different way because you know they're taking it for a weakness, next thing you know, now you're a bad boss. So that's what I kind of think about that.
Never thought about that. And surely you don't run into problems like that often.
It all depends. It all depends. I mean, I think we're dealing with a new generation of workers now, so it makes it harder to be a good boss.
Okay. And if I'm not prying too much of your business, when you say that, when you say this new generation, could you give me some examples on how they will lead you to become, change you from becoming a good boss to, and I'm not going to say bad boss, but quote unquote bad boss, but they think you might be a bad boss.
I think the biggest thing is just that, just not prying too much. But I mean, you have some employees that no matter what you do, how you run your schedule, they tend to just always be late no matter what. Hey, what time can you get to work? One question that I love to ask in there, do you have reliable transportation? Mm-hmm. And everybody says yes. And the next thing you know, as soon as they start working a week from after they get hired, now all of a sudden they don't have transportation. So them coming to work is always an issue. Them coming to work on time. What employees fail to realize is that the schedule is designed to keep the business instructions good for people when you need them. But then once people are constantly late, always late, then that puts a strain on the boss and the business. So not only is the boss having to suffer, but also the customers are having to suffer, because now, without that employee, other people have to step in and do the work.
Okay.
We apologize. We are having technical difficulties and are unable to bring you the video from this next interview.
Hello, I am State Representative Wandalyn Gavan, and I proudly represent House District 60 in the Alabama House of Representatives. I'm so honored to have this opportunity today to speak with you and to just talk to you about a book. But first of all, let me simply thank Amanda Hudson for this opportunity from ABL News, the ABL News station. Let me make sure I put that handle on it. But I'm specifically here today to talk about the book Good Boss, Bad Boss. In particular, what makes a good boss versus a bad boss. And it was so funny that I was asked to just to have a few words. So let me just simply say, any boss that walks into a room, first of all, and you don't know he or she is the boss, that's number one. So I believe a boss should carry themselves in a way that everybody should know that you're the person in control. Why? Because that means you're exemplifying an attitude that means that you are authoritative, while you are knowledgeable, understanding, but also there comes a time where individuals have to be monitored and dominating, that he appears that he or she is ruling with an iron fist. My ideal boss is the person that I can speak with, that respects me in my respective position, but also allows me the flexibility to be who I am. So if you're a boss and you're not doing those things, guess what? You're not a good boss. You're totally a bad boss. So I simply close with these words: be respectful. Make sure that you are the person who, if you're giving the orders, you are allowing those orders to be carried out. You're allowing those directives and all of those things to be filled, because you are a boss and you have hired the right person, or you know that that person who walks in the room is knowledgeable and can do his or his job. Treat people like you want to be treated. That's a good boss. Remember, if you're not doing it, then you're a bad boss. And you heard it first from me, State Representative Yolanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda, and I am from the ABL News Network. And today, first of all, could you tell me who you are?
Sure. My name is Tanya, and I am a special education paraprofessional.
Great. Today I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and it's going to be coming from the book, Good Boss, Bad Boss. Okay? Now, the first question I want to ask you, actually, if you want to be a good boss, what do you need to accomplish day after day?
Okay. Well, I think one of the things, well, several things. I think a good boss should be fair and consistent. I also think that they should be willing to do anything that they ask their staff to do.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
Can I get an interview with you, please?
What kind of interview?
Come on down.
Gonna step down this?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is it? What kind of interview? What's going on?
Okay, ma'am. This is first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Amanda, and I work for the ABL16 news station. And what we're doing, we're going around asking people about going around the community, of course.
Good boss, bad boss.
Asking people about this book. So, first of all, could you look into that camera and state your name?
My name is Adrian Janine H.
Okay, and what do you do for a living, may I ask?
Well, right now I'm between jobs. The way these folks talk to you and carrying on, I'm just trying to find myself something else at the present moment. But she came at the right time with this book talking about good boss, bad boss. We got a whole herd of them. We got less but good bosses and a whole herd of bad bosses.
Oh.
Until I tell you about these bosses, I'm bad boss.
Okay, ma'am. With this book right here, Good Boss, Bad Boss, could you tell me the qualities of a good boss?
The qualities of a good boss, in my opinion, somebody that has respect, that talks to you with the utmost respect, somebody that's caring, somebody want to give you some money, somebody always appreciate you for what you do.
Okay, ma'am. What about a bad boss? Could you tell me something about the bad boss?
Yes, I got one and had one. Oh my God. I ain't never seen nothing like it in my life. First of all, let me tell you that. Hold on, let me get my piece of candy.
Well, yes, ma'am.
Okay, now. The bad boss. Oh my God. Out of all the years I've been certified nursing assistant, I've been a certified nursing assistant going on 34 years. I ain't never ran across the bad boss that I have ran across before in my life. You check the person, the woman don't text back. You say good morning, whatever. She'll take all day to speak back to you. She'll look at you like you're funky. You call off, she'll be about to kill you. Talk to you like you ain't nothing. Right is right and wrong is wrong. I can't stand her. I don't like her. Well,
Miss Adrian, what I'm going to do as a gift, I'm going to leave this book with you called Good Boss and Bad Boss. And I highly recommend that you read the book. You might find some good information in here, okay? I'm going to give you this as a gift.
Good ball, bad ball. You know what? I'm going to go back up the street there and see if I can get my job back. I left on good behavior. But what I want to do, I'm just to the bad person. What a bad boss said. I want to give her this book and tell her I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this team, even though you're the reason why I'm not here anymore. But take this book and do me the honors to pass it on to everybody that you know might need it.
Okay.
But you the baddest boss, though. You keep it.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Adrian, for giving me the opportunity to speak with you today. And I thank you so much. Amanda Hudson.
Is this book gonna do any justice?
I'm hoping it will if she reads it. But this is Amanda Hudson.
You ready to put it on
live from Pratt City. Back at you, Allison.
Wait a minute, girl. Hold on, Miss Amanda. So you reckon if I put it in her face, to put a dead in her face, so like this, they call the police on me?
No, we don't want that to happen, ma'am. We just want you to either pass the information on or you just read the information, okay?
I'm sure God y'all gonna do it.
Okay, then. And once again, this is Amanda coming live from Pratt City.
And
I'm going back at you.
My name is Agent Janine H. But I can go by Catlin, I can go by Hudson. And some people call me AJ, some call me Janine. It sounds like Wilma calling me.
Okay, then. Have a nice day, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
You're most welcome. But I'm going to get it book to the lady that need to have it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Ooh, I like talking. Any more questions?
No, thanks. No more questions.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, I got a lot to talk about them folks up there.
Okay.
I can't call no names. I might get in trouble, but...
Thank you, ma'am.
Bad boss, bad boss.
Okay, thank you. And once again, this is Amanda coming live from Pratt City. Just got through talking with Miss Adrian, and I gave her a book, Good Boss, Bad Boss, and I hope that she utilizes it as well as she says that she was going to take it and share with her previous employers. All right, thanks.
Thank you, Amanda and interviewee, for providing insight on what can be done about a bad boss. We have one more correspondent in the field with our third question, and this is Allison. Allison?
And I am here with
Shaquila Kirkland.
What's your job title?
I am an advanced medical support assistant.
Excellent. So I'm promoting this excellent book called Good Boss, Bad Boss. One of the things this book really stresses is the importance of supervisors showing humanity with their team. Ms. Kirkland, why do you think it's important for supervisors to show humanity?
Showing humanity overall is good for most of all the company, the veteran, along with myself. And also just shows that my boss, which are my supervisors, is already amazing, but humanity do take it above.
Thank you so much. I hope you take the time to read this book.
I will do, and I also will promote it as well.
Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Allison Brock, and I'm reporting live for ABL16 News, and I have with me
Eric Toffel.
What's your job here?
I'm a physician.
Great. I am promoting this excellent book, Good Boss, Bad Boss. One of the things this book discusses is the importance of celebrating small wins along the way. Why do you think it's important for your supervisor to celebrate small wins?
Well, small wins lead to big victories. And just like in math in elementary school, 1 + 1 = 2 and so forth. So you keep celebrating, you keep building, and you build the team to make bigger wins.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And I hope you take the time to read this book.
Thank you.
Team News. And I'm here with
Mary Claire Powell.
Ms. Powell, what's your job here?
I'm the rehabilitation coordinator. I oversee physical and occupational therapy and review for community care, both here and in Hudson.
Excellent. So I'm talking about this excellent book, Good Boss, Bad Boss. One of the things it discusses is why supervisors take the blame for their employees. Can you talk about why you take the blame for your employees and why that's important?
Well, it's important because a boss has to be accountable just like the staff. And if it's something that's coming up as a pattern, for instance, encounters or notes being entered incorrectly, that tells me that I have to do something with training. And especially if it's with multiple staff, I have to address it and make sure it doesn't happen again. The big focus shouldn't be on who did what or what went wrong, but how to prevent it from happening again. So that's my job as a boss, is to educate others and hold them accountable. But first I have to be accountable.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Do you think you'll read this book?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I think I've been both in my time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison, an interviewee, for providing insight on what Good Boss needs to accomplish day after day. Well, these interviews have been very eye-opening and helpful in establishing what good boss and bad boss looks like to people.
Right. Hopefully it'll help people understand the different aspects of being a good boss and a good leader.
That's right, Ricky. Well, that's all for our broadcast today. We want to thank our correspondents out in the fields, interviewees who were forthcoming, our wonderful sponsors, and you all, the audience, for joining us. This has been ABL16 News Network. Have a great day, everyone.